just had another cup of tea with my buddy Jordan over here. Today we're going to talk about bulking and cutting. Now they're two completely different things, and they're essentially made for the same thing, what your fitness goals are. And I'm just going to let Jordan talk about bulking first.
Awesome. As Shane said, we're going to talk about bulking and cutting today, guys. First thing I would like to talk about is there's always a time for bulking and cutting.
Yes, there is.
Basically, if you find that you have an excess amount of fat when you start your fitness goals, maybe bulking isn't the way to go. Maybe you want to get rid of some of that fat first, because typically with bulking, we're going to talk about now in a second, is you have a surplus of calories and you don't want to throw that on top of your already surplus of fat that you have when you start your fitness goals.
I myself started bulking at a time that I wasn't down. Like, you want to be around 10% body fat. That's just like a ballpark number. But I mean, like, you want to have abs before you start bulking, because if you don't have abs and you already have fat on you, you're gonna go in the opposite direction. Like, you want to know what you look like with no body fat, so you can judge where you got to go from there. What body parts you have to improve on, all that fun stuff.
That's legit. So first of all, some things that are going to help you, or you're going to incorporate, I guess, when you're doing your bulk is, of course, we're going to talk about food, we're going to talk about supplementation, and we're going to talk about some training. At first, I guess we can talk about, typically with a bulk, when it comes to food, you're going to have a surplus of calories. You're going to be eating a lot of healthy calories, you know, none of the shit that you pretty well spread on your ass, you know. You want healthy calories, you want good carbohydrates, good proteins, like your chickens, your eggs, you know, your fish.
Get them wheats in you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The wheats for your carbs, your oats, you know, like those are huge. In addition to food, I'm going to talk about supplements. Myself, when I started bulking, I found one supplement that helped me was creatine. It was huge. For anyone who don't know what creatine is, or anyone who do that follows to the typical stereotype, is creatine is basically water weight. Yes, it is, but what it actually does for you is that it increases your water retention in your muscles. So it really, really helps with muscle conditioning. It helps prevent injury, and of course, it helps you bloat a little bit more, so you look like you got a little more size. As well, protein, of course. Protein is a huge part of building muscle, and obviously bulking, we want to build muscle. Typically with protein, directly after your workout, you're going to be wanting to have like a whey protein, like a hydrolyzed protein, something that's going to dissolve fast. You're going to get it in your body. You're going to hit that anabolic window that you have directly after working out. And for casein, casein is usually a slow-acting protein, so you want to be taking that before bed. As well, I know myself, being a student and being broke, I found weight gainer really helped me. Now, weight gainer is something a lot of people look down on because it's a lot of calories, it's a lot of fat, and it's a lot of unneeded sugar as well. However, it's really cheap. You know, you pay $80 or $90 for 13 or 15 pounds of stuff compared to you'll spend $80 or $90 in chicken in a week or two. And, you know, I know I couldn't do it. Not the best way possible.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Right? I couldn't do it myself, so I used the weight gainer, and if you want to use a weight gainer, you know, it's fine. Last, a multivitamin. The reason I say a multivitamin, people say, well, don't everybody take a multivitamin? Don't my grandmother take a multivitamin? Yes, they do. But the reason we need it is because if you're going to do a bulk and you're going to go through all types of vigorous types of training, like I'm about to talk about next, we don't have a well-rounded diet. And when I say a well-rounded diet, we're not getting our fish oils, we're not getting some of the minerals, maybe vitamin B12, whatever the case may be, and a multivitamin is going to help you maintain all those minerals and vitamins.
They're good for you. They're good for you.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to help fuel your body, you know. When you think you can't keep going, that multivitamin is going to help you out a little bit. And of course, the pre-workout. I've always been a fan of them. I actually cycle a pre-workout like 8 to 12 weeks, so probably 2 or 3 bottles, and then I'll stay off it for probably 6 months. I find my body gets used to the caffeine boost. I love the beta-alanine. Beta-alanine is also good for blood flow. People just think it makes you tingly. No, it don't. It's a massive
body senses.
It's huge for blood flow, and of course, blood flow is a nutrient transporter. So beta-alanine is a great product. Last but not least, guys, is the training. There's so many types of training, and you don't have to follow an already beaten path when it comes to training. That's totally up to you. But some I can list, like, you know, is German volume training, I can list Fast Yes Stretch Training, FST7, co-founded by Hanny Rambord. Y3T by Neil Hill, amazing program.
Man's insane.
Yeah, Blood and Guts by Dorian Yates. He done a lot of strength training and a lot of bulking, and he was a 6-time Mr. Olympia. And of course, DTP, Dramatic Transformation Principle, created by Chris Gethin, which is my favorite bodybuilder, hands down. DTP is amazing. It basically, the reason he made this DTP was to get away from injury while at the same time gaining as much muscle as he can, because it was a typical stereotype back in the days of Arnold that you had to lift heavy, that you had to power lift to get muscle, and as we know nowadays that's totally not the case. But that pretty well sums up bulking. Guys, any other questions that you have about bulking, you can send us a message, and Shane's going to give you the update on the shredding.
So, shredding. Now, when should you start shredding? I like to start shredding. Well, I mean, like if I don't see any abs whatsoever around my stomach area, like I can maintain it. Like we're doing a bulk now, and I'm maintaining that ab. Sometimes I can see it better than some days, but like I know when to start my bulk. You gotta kind of judge your own body. Now, if you have fat on you and you're just starting out, like definitely do a cut first. You want to see what parts of the body you got to improve first. You got to see just like what your body reacts to when it comes to nutrition and all that fun stuff. Now, what a cut is, it's a deficit of calories. Now, when I say that, I don't mean like go down to 1,200 calories right away or anything like, don't even go down to 1,200 calories. No. Because what happens is that if you lower your calories too much, when you start burning fat, you also start burning muscle.
Don't take them gains.
You don't want to take them gains.
Don't take them gains.
No. But when you, what you want to do is you want to lose weight, but you want to lose it at a rate where you can maintain a good amount of muscle. So what I mean by that is like 1 to 2 pounds a week. Now, when you first start off your cut, you're gonna lose like 5 pounds maybe in the first week, depending on who you are. I mean, like I know for myself, 10 pounds sometimes. I mean, I remember the first week I did a cut, and it was after like a big food, like I ate a lot of food the day before. I think I dropped like 15 pounds in the first, for the first week. I mean, like that's unheard of. But I mean, like I'm a bigger guy, I'm a bigger set guy. I mean, like I'm 6'4", so I hold water on more than other people. But when you want to aim around, like when I start my cut, I started around 2,500 calories, just to see where my body has to go. I mean, if I lose weight, I lose weight. If I don't lose weight, then I know I have to drop the calories more. Yeah. When it comes to foods, like obviously stay with your white meats and stay with your wheats and all that fun stuff. But I track macronutrients, so I mean like a certain amount of my calories go to protein, a certain amount of my calories go to carbs, a certain amount of my calories go to fats, carbs, proteins, fats. But when I start off, I maintain my carbs at a certain rate. So like I keep it high at first, because you don't want your body not getting used to carbs, because at the end of the day, carbs are the ones that give you the energy. But you just want to be able to use those carbs in a certain way where you're using it up throughout your workout and throughout the day. You don't want to eat too many carbs. Like I stay away from carbs when I go to sleep at night, because I feel like my body holds on to that fat or doesn't use it as energy like it should. I start off at 2,500 calories, and then when I work my way down, I up my carbs and decrease or up my protein and decrease my carbs. But what I do, I try to stay away from putting my protein up too high, because at the end of the day, like you can't maintain a ridiculous amount of protein, like especially if you're on a student like budget. So what I do is I probably maintain my protein around 240 grams of protein, and that'll be like where I end. That's the end of what I do. But as I decrease my calories, I'll maintain that 240 when I reach it, and then just keep decreasing my carbs. And at the end of the day, you can also carb cycle like at the end of your cut, because then what you do then is you have, I don't know, 150 grams of carbs one day, and then decrease it by 25, decrease it by 25, and then by the end of it, you're basically eating 50 grams of carbs in one day, and then you reset throughout your week. And it's
good to change it up.
It's good to change it up. I mean, like everybody's body's different, so you're gonna need to do different things to get different results. When it comes to supplements, fat burners, like they do help. Like you don't need to take them, but like I personally take them. I take Cellucor fat burners, HD, and sometimes I even take CLK or Click. Protein, like either a whey or an isolate. You want something that that doesn't stay in your body for too long, because it'll weigh you down, and you don't want that when you're cutting. Make sure when you take protein, and if you track macronutrients, that you don't take more than like 3 scoops a day. Otherwise, your body can't handle taking that much protein in at once or anything like that, or you shut your kidneys down basically. Yeah. Pre-workout does help, especially when you get to the lower carb range.
Yes.
When you decrease your carbs, you're gonna find that you have less energy to do stuff, and of course, pre-workout has caffeine in it, and that's great. We really need it a lot of the times. And fiber, guys, fiber is like one of the biggest things you can like maintain your diet. Now, don't take, I don't know, don't depend on certain foods to get the fiber. Like, make sure you look at your wheats. I take fiber gummies too, just to make sure my fiber's up there. I mean, Quest bars have a decent amount of fiber in them as well. And water, guys, just chug it, just chug it. Like, don't even think about it. Like, if you're going to bed like and you chug a liter of water, that's not a big deal. Like, you're not going to see it the next morning, because as soon as you go to use the washroom, it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
But I mean, you want to shuffle those nutrients through your body, and you want to shuffle them quick. Now, don't drink like 4 liters of water at once, because you're gonna like also
drown.
You're gonna drown. But you're gonna wash out all the nutrients that you need in your body, and you want to maintain that balance of losing weight, but keeping the nutrients like that your body, the essential nutrients that your body needs to live and cooperate with you. When it comes to training, you have to keep your reps high, so I'd say around 10 to 16.
10 to 16.
10 to 16. Make sure you get that burn that you would in any other workout. Like, make sure you really feel what you're doing, but don't go too heavy, because if you go too heavy, you want to tone your muscles rather than make them bigger. So that's why you do 10 to 16, but you don't want to go too heavy where you have to fail at 6.
Yeah.
And if you do fail at 6, drop the weight by 5 or 10 pounds and just burn at another 10. Something like that. Something just to keep you going. You really do want to focus on that squeeze, and you really do have to focus on getting that burn at the end of the day.
That's legit. Something else I'd actually like to touch on. Shane mentioned a really good point about fiber, and I as well should have talked about it in the bulking section. A huge part of bulking or shredding is meal frequency, of course. Whether you're having a surplus, whether you're having a deficit of calories, you want to have a high meal frequency, because you want your metabolism to be heading in the right direction. As well, a lot of people don't realize when they bulk, it's not all about what you eat. Like, you can sit down and you can eat 10,000 calories in a sitting, and it's not going to do nothing for you. It's not going to help you bulk. It's going to make you fat. And the reason being is because a lot of it comes down to what your body can absorb. And that is huge. So meal frequency really helps with that.
Both bulking and cutting, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's huge, and I just want to mention that, guys.
Cheat meals are another thing as well. So like, when you're cutting, you're gonna be, so like, I start at 2,500 and I probably end off around 2,000, maybe 1,800 if I really want to get down to lower body fat percentages. But what cheat meals do for you can sometimes be beneficial. I mean, like, that's blasphemy, but you want to make sure it's a cheat meal, not a cheat day, or like a cheat day and not a cheat week. But what you want to do is you want to, like, say when you're cutting and you can't lose any more weight. You don't know why. Like, your calories are low enough, but you just can't lose that amount of weight. Having a cheat meal just jumpstarts your metabolism. So what that does is, like, your body's, you say you've eaten healthy for 3 weeks straight and you haven't had a cheat meal. Your body's kind of like, okay, I can maintain this now. I mean, it's easy to digest all this food.
Kind of a shock.
Yeah. What you want to do is, with a cheat meal, is shock your body into boosting your metabolism up so that you can lose a little bit more weight. Same thing with bulking. When you're bulking, your metabolism speeds up a little bit too much and you can't gain weight. So what a cheat meal does for you there is that it slows down your metabolism so that you can gain that weight that you want to gain.
Right on.
To an extent.
Alright, guys, I think that just about sums it up.
Yeah, it's a long video, but I mean, we got a lot of information out to you, right?
Thanks for watching. Please like
and subscribe.
Till next time, guys.
See you later.